and I will quickly tweet out we're live, and hopefully we are live. Oh, it just gonna
on the internet.
Just gonna mute that. Okay, so we are live for today's Stitch and Bitch, the April Stitch and Bitch. Damn. Oh,
the regular edition, because we did kind of a special edition already.
Yes, the regular one. And today it's just the three of us. Bree had a sudden, like a family meeting thing, so she won't be joining us today. And because it's just the three of us, we are going to be streaming a little bit of a shorter stream, 1.5 hours approximately. We'll see how we get on. But yeah, welcome. If you have found us, I am Reija. I am from the channel The Bookfinch. Obviously, you are here. And yeah, why don't we start by introducing ourselves? Dai, will you go first?
Sure. My name is Dai. My channel is Bookish Dai. And are we talking about what we're making right now, or just like...
Just like introductions first.
Okay,
so.
Diana, my channel is Bookish Dai.
Okay, Rachel?
My name is Rachel, and my channel is Kalanati, where I talk about all the science fiction and fantasy, and right now a lot of manga, mostly thanks to Reija.
Also, the Hugo-nominated channel Kalanati.
There's that too, yes.
I mean, when Rachel gets tired of saying that, I won't.
Well, an actual Hugo nominated in a way where the old guard won't get pissy about it like the rest of us AO3 folks.
Yeah. Oh. Sorry, I just dipped my whole needle cushion into my tea.
Oh.
So I've been having a lot of like food related accidents. Like yesterday, I scratched myself on the cheek with a piece of beef jerky.
How?
I mean, it's sharp when you gnaw on it and try to like get a good bite. It's just like, there's friction. Apparently,
okay.
I don't know. I don't. Oh, ew.
I've never had beef jerky before. I don't know how hard it is.
It depends on how much it's been dried out and like fresh it. Like,
yeah, we made like homemade. Like it's
so
like homemade from like really good quality meat.
Yeah, so that's probably going to be softer than like the stuff you would pick up at the store.
Ooh, my teeth would not work on the stuff you pick out of a store. Okay, do we aside from food related accidents, do we want to talk about what we are making? Rachel, will you go first?
Yes, I've started it. Let's see if I can actually show this properly.
You have waited for this moment.
No, can you see that?
Yes, that is.
Yes, that is beautiful.
Yeah, this is the Knives Out sweater, which somebody reverse engineered and put the pattern on Ravelry. So I am doing it, and I have already messed it up and fixed my mistake by making the cables even harder to remember for myself.
Oh
no. It'll be fine. I'll explain this because I'm super geeky about it, but there's this central panel, which is this thing in the middle. And then it repeats on either side of that. And I made a mistake where I did half the cable twists in the wrong way, but then I realized that I could do the cable twists mirror image on either side of the center panel. So I'm doing that. But now I have to remember that I have to reverse the particular chart half the time. And this is why I'm going to have like 20 stitch markers in this project.
That's always like so annoying when that happens. Like when you do a thing and then you're like, oh, I was not supposed to do it that way.
Yeah, but it will be symmetrical now, and I really like that idea. I don't know if that's what the original sweater is like either, but who cares?
Are you doing it in a gray or in a white?
It's kind of a grayish brown color. So
Okay. I couldn't tell if it was like my computer like showing a weird
no,
color.
it is in some light it looks very brown, in some light it looks very gray.
It looks very silvery.
Yeah, right now it looks kind of
Okay.
gray on my
actually,
screen.
it's like an oatmeal-y color.
Yeah, that's a good way of describing it. Yeah. This looks really cool in the like the white, the cream color. Everybody's doing in that color, but I can't wear white. I look deathly ill in it.
Yeah, like stark white for me at least is super hard. Like I personally like my skin tone is the type that it can't have too much of a blue tint or a red tint, because like I have this thing where like I get like because of like autoimmune things, I get red blotches on my face super easily.
Mhm.
So if I wear stuff that has too much of a red tone, then my whole face looks like a tomato. But if I wear too much of a blue tone, then all my veins pop out and I just look like a corpse. So finding that color balance is really hard.
Yep.
So I can go next. I am making let's see, a prototype. This is a little collar. There's the little like button clasp thing, and then it's gonna fold over like this. And this is gonna be MOSFET's office tie color, and I'm gonna make a little like cravat to go with it.
This is gonna be awesome.
Because what my partner wanted MOSFET to have an office color, so I'm making a prototype and to see if I need to make any adjustments on my pattern. It's basically a single, like an office color, but like a single piece pattern. Instead of like having a separate like color and separate like the fold over, because I don't think a cat will appreciate too many unnecessary seams against their body.
I was gonna say, do you think he's gonna let you leave it on him, or is he gonna like get out of it?
Yeah, that's also something that I need to test out, because he is a very zoomy boy.
As long as you can get at least one good photo shoot out of it, who cares?
I mean, my partner said that he wants to make an MOSFET Instagram account called like he wants to make an Instagram account for MOSFET that's just gonna be pictures of MOSFETs with various different ties and electrical gadgets. So,
okay.
I'm not gonna object. This whole thing started because MOSFET steals quite a bit like of the electrical stuff from my partner's office.
Oh yeah.
Like he has a fixation for the electrical wiring you use to connect chips on a broadband.
Oh.
He loves that. Okay, Dai, what are you making?
All right, hold on. I need to adjust because I'm in the middle of a row. But I'm working on, my mom and I are doing a mystery knit together. And so I have finished part 1 and I've started part 2.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that looks so fancy.
So it's a shawl. So this color work is actually really simple because it's just slipping the stitch.
Oh, so it's like mosaic knitting.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I've always wanted to try that.
Yeah, I actually
So
haven't
nice.
done like I haven't done like stranded color work before, but I've done stuff like this before. So similar to like how Brie was had her hexagons.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
I've
the
done-
honeycomb thing. Yeah.
I've done stuff like that. So this was actually pretty easy for me to adjust to. And now part 2 is doing it looks like a basket weave, maybe, or a double moss stitch.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I love the colors. What's the yarn?
It is. Oh, I don't have it in here. It's Knitted Wit. So it's a yarn dyer based in Portland, and it's a DK weight. Hi, Bubby. And I had bought it when I was in Santa Cruz at the local yarn shop there. But yeah, Knitted Wit is on Etsy if you want to check it out. They have like, they're solid colors, but they also have some really nice like speckled stuff and variegated yarn.
Mm-hmm. I'm always looking for hand dyers who do solid colors in addition to the crazier techniques, because sometimes you need the solids to pair with other things.
Yeah, and I really like the solids. Like I really love these 2 colors. And I know Neighborhood Fiber Company has like a good range of solids as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I can't knit when you're doing this. He's like,
You can always knit.
Yeah. I need to go back and start doing the sleeves on my sweater. I just like am a little intimidated, and I also just want to like, I think, get an audiobook and do it. So like I have some, like I'm not like distracted by like TV or a meeting or something.
Sleeve Island is the worst when you're like, you just have to keep going round and round and round and round. You're like, you would rather be doing anything else.
Yeah. But please don't knock stuff off. You were kind of being a little terrible child.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Hello, Shannon. Hello, Becca. And also glad that we can provide this moment of respite from worldly troubles. Okay. Shall we talk about what we've been reading?
I need to talk about the book I'm currently reading.
Okay, go first.
It's
Talk about
so
it.
appropriate to this live show.
What?
I am listening to the audiobook of The Vampire Knitting Club.
What?
I'm not even kidding. Somebody recommended this to me on one of my what I made crafting podcast videos a little while ago, and I was like, well, the library has it, I'll just check it out. And it's basically like supernatural cozy murder mystery.
Oh my god, I need this.
And it's literally about a woman who her grandmother is murdered and she inherits her grandmother's knitting store and a nest of vampires. There's truly a bunch of knitting vampires in this.
Knitting vampires? The vampires knit?
Yes, I mean,
I haven't read a cozy mystery in so long, and this sounds so good.
It's not the best written thing. It's like very, very simplistic writing, but it's like perfect cozy murder mystery. And I cannot get over how much actual knitting content is in the book.
I mean, to be honest,
I don't read cozy mysteries. Like, I read cozy mysteries for the same reason I read romance. I read it because, like, I know what the structure is. I know I'm going to get a resolution.
Yeah.
How do you get there? I will say most romances I read are better written than a lot of the cozy mysteries I read.
I noticed that too. Yeah. So
Shannon says, Rachel, you need to share the exact title and author for this.
Yes, it's The Vampire Knitting Club by Nancy Warren. And there are a ton of books out already in the series, and there are audiobook versions for all of them. So
I just added the first one on my Goodreads. So.
I'm enjoying the first one enough that I already have the second book queued up. It's just great.
That's like, I don't even know if like cozy mysteries or sometimes even like romance are things where I necessarily crave to have elaborate writing. Like
Yeah.
That's like a bonus if it like a nice thing to have, but not necessary. All I want is like fluff,
Right.
coziness,
Yes.
like that
Oh,
feeling
and
of like uncomplicatedness.
there is also a little black cat because witches and familiars.
Yes.
Okay, so
Oh,
it looks like my
Good
library
cat
only
content.
it looks like my library only has the audiobooks, which I bet is because they're Kindle Unlimited books and Amazon.
Quite possibly.
I mean-
My library's Overdrive only has the audiobooks too, but they're really easy to listen to. I really like the audiobook narrating.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that's why
a
I've
good
noticed
endorsement.
the writing style more is because when I'm listening to it, it's very obviously I did this, I did that, no complicated sentence structures or anything.
Yeah.
But it's also like really easy to follow along on the audiobook.
I mean, I feel like I would just like, okay, so what project are they working on right now, and is it interesting? Like, it sounds like
the
sort of-
Vampire Knitting Club delivers a freshly made knitted sweater every day to the main character so she can wear it in the store.
wow.
Okay, that is the dream.
So somebody came into the store and was like, "Do you have any tips on knitting brioche?" And I'm like, "Oh my god, it mentioned brioche."
It mentioned the thing you have made.
So you can definitely tell like these are vampires who can do that because like only people who have been alive for a very long time and have managed to accumulate wealth could afford the yarn needed
Yes.
to knit a new sweater
I
every
mean,
day.
you have like those like all the vampire covens in every single like media are always like super rich and have these treasure troves and jewels and stuff. And now I'm just imagining a vampire cove where they have an Excel spreadsheet for all the yarn stores and yarns that they want to buy for their projects, and that's where all the finances of their coven go to. Because seriously, what do vampires even really need money for?
One of the vampires in this book mentions to the new store owner that they're looking into paying their like knitting store dues with Bitcoin.
Oh God, I love this! I love this!
That actually reminds me. There was an image on Tumblr. It was like a dragon surrounded by sheep, and someone was like, "This dragon hoards sheep." And now I like desperately want a story where a dragon kidnaps a shepherdess, and it's like, "Why are you kidnapping me and not a princess?" And the dragon's like, "I need someone to take care of my sheep."
Yeah.
Because the dragon just wants to be cozy, and so like when it raids the countryside, it just gets sheep because like it wants wool near it so like it can have like sweaters and scarves and like
I seriously need to get in on this. Okay, it sounds like a great book to listen while you are working on your own projects. So Rachel, can you attest to that?
I've knit most of this while listening to this audiobook.
Perfect. Also, I will apologize if you hear scratching on the background. My cat is doing things. So we may be having... Are we having an appearance, Your Highness? Your Majesty?
Did Hedda deign to come back?
Yes. She is looking at me in a very affronted manner. Okay, I won't touch you. Okay, Dai, what have you been reading?
I have like not really been reading. I did start Shadow and Bone just because I wanted to read the first book before watching the show, and it is fine. Like it is for me, at least so far, it's just kind of like middle of the way. Why I will say I got to the part where the Darkling kisses Alina and I closed the book and haven't gone back for more than a day just because like you're a gross old man and she's a teenager. Stop. And like I've been like I know like spoilers like I know for a fact like they don't get together and like the narrative apparently is like very clear on the fact that he is the villain and he is a gross old man, but also just like
He was a gross old man who just kissed a teenager.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
I've never actually had any interest in reading these books, not until recently. I do kind of want to watch the Netflix show though, and I wonder if I I might enjoy what it is more as a show.
Rachel, do you want to watch the Netflix show with me together? Because I'm like, I feel like I don't necessarily want to watch it alone, and my partner is most assuredly not the demographic for
I
that
will
series.
watch it with you, and I think we might enjoy watching it more consistently than Farscape at this point.
I mean,
I will say something
yeah.
that I've heard from a couple of people is with the show, it kind of drops you in, and so it doesn't always explain things. And so, like in terms of world building, you might get a little more out of it if you read the book, or at least like
Oh well.
look at the.
I mean, I have read
Wikipedia.
Crooked Kingdom and Six of Crows, so that's my and I have watched many a reading vlog of the Grisha trilogy, and I don't actually I have no desire to read the Grisha trilogy because I was kind of like lukewarm on the Six of Crows duology. And from what I hear from everyone is that that one is more polished in terms of writing than the Grisha trilogy, obviously, because that came first. So I'm like, okay, so if I didn't like fully love the Six of Crows duology, I don't think I'm gonna love the Grisha trilogy. So I'm just gonna.
Becca says that the show doesn't follow the books. Is there like a really big divergence between the two?
Yeah, so they bring in the Six of Crows characters earlier on. So the way with the books, so the Six of Crows duology takes place, and I like the fact that I know this despite not reading the Grisha trilogy is like really telling of how I consume media. But the Six of Crows duology in the books takes place like 2 years after the Grisha trilogy. And so in the show, they're bringing in the Six of Crow characters early, and like they created a new subplot for them that kind of ties them in with the other characters.
I'm gonna guess they did that because people are like really fanatical about getting the Six of Crows characters cast or something.
Yes. I mean,
I will say one thing I have heard from a lot of friends who've already binged it is that just a heads up, there is just like the equivalent in our world of anti-Asian racism expressed towards the main character, and it doesn't, like, the consensus I've seen is that it wasn't handled particularly well.
That's just
like like for them it felt it was really unneeded.
So here's the thing. All I want to know is how they pronounce Pekka Rollins' name. Because for some weird reason, Lee Bardugo decided to give his villain a Finnish first name. And I remember reading the duology and I was like constantly thrown for a loop whenever his name came up.
I mean,
because it was so out of like everything.
Yeah. Anyway, so I'm reading that. I might finish it just because like it is a fairly quick read. But it is, like Shannon was saying, kind of okay, but a lot of YA tropes.
Also, piggybacking of your thoughts on the like anti-Asian rhetoric of like that world's anti-Asian rhetoric. I thought that it was interesting because I saw on Twitter that someone was saying that it's very interesting that there's this kind of weird fantasy racism going on towards Alina in that show, but then the Ravkans have like a pretty mixed ethnic variance between them, and they are not racist towards each other. And for me, that's actually very interesting because that's just like brings up a level of like xenophobia. Like, for example, in Northern European countries, oftentimes prior to like the rise of like right-wing rhetoric and all that, but oftentimes xenophobia towards neighboring countries was more prevalent than racism towards different ethnicities. That has obviously changed in the last few years because of a variety of things, but like it used to be that xenophobia towards neighboring countries was more prevalent. So I think like that may be like the inspiration. Like and maybe I'm just giving credit where credit shouldn't be given. Like I'm like, oh, this, but like, yeah.
I don't know. So what are you reading, Rhea?
So I'm reading The Man Who Mistook His Wife for a Hat by Oliver Sacks, which is a medical nonfiction about these various neurological conditions where people lose a function or gain a function that they previously didn't have due to like neuropathy. It was written in the 80s and it shows.
It does. His later book I liked more.
It is very outdated, both in terms of language and like just general vibe. There are some moments where I'm like, I wouldn't want my doctor to be talking about me in this way, because the way he sometimes describes his patients or the patients that he's describing, like, well, this patient was remarkably intelligent, and that's why they were able to overcome this crippling defect. Stuff like that, and I'm here like,
I think his later books didn't do that quite as much. He tended to have like a really good reputation for the way he talked about people and stuff. I mean,
yeah, I just think it's a product of the like time where people didn't really think about it that much, but it just clearly shows. There's also like I think a thing where it's like, does this book want to be like for the layperson? Like, does it want to talk about these things for the layperson who doesn't have an actual degree in neurology, or does it want to be a professional medical like work, like dissertation or something? Because there's a huge disconnect, because it's just throwing me these whole lot of like medical jargon where I'm like, I have no idea what any of this means. Let me just quickly Google that. And that's just been my reading experience with this book. Like every 5 words, let me Google that quick. And the other thing that I'm reading is this one, which is 7 Little Sons of the Dragon by Ryoko Kui. This is a short story manga collection by the same artist, author who does Delicious in Dungeon. And I have to return it to the library tomorrow, so I need to read it. And I also want to make a review of it. Review of it, because I don't think there's enough short story manga anthologies and collections. So when I get to them, I want to make like a dedicated review video, because I think those are
about them. Anthologies, especially. I didn't really think about them existing.
Yeah, I have a few. I have a few anthologies. Most of them are anthologies with like multiple authors that focus on a theme. For example, you might have like a Yuri anthology with female-female relationships, or a similar one for like male-male relationships. But it's actually very like, it's not rare, but it's rare to have them translated, where a work by an author gets brought. Like, they're not rare in Japan, but it's rare that they're brought over to the English market. I think Nagabe also has a short story collection that's either has just been translated into English or it's coming to the English-speaking market.
I feel like you mentioned that before. And I'm trying to remember. Yeah. He's got one that's already out in English that's like The Wizards of something or other.
Yeah.
Which I haven't seen anywhere. Now I need to go look this up, because I would swear that I added this on Goodreads.
Yeah. Also, Nagabe is like so prolific. Like, yeah, like he's got so much stuff like that hasn't been translated. I was reading this for the manga reading challenge that I'm doing. Like, I was reading this book called Nivava ja minä in Finnish because it's translated into Finnish. And then I was like, is this his first thing? And then I went and looked it up and saw like a huge bunch of stuff that he's done that just hasn't been translated. But
Wow,
he's been very active.
I thought like Girl from the Other Side was like maybe his second project.
No, it's just his latest work.
Oh, man.
His first project was actually a boys' love manga about these dragon-like creatures that have a romance with each other. And it was a one-shot. And I was like, I want this so bad. Because his creature designs are his creature designs are fantastic.
That's what I really love about The Girl from the Other Side is just the character designs and what the outsiders look like and everything. It's really cool. I love his art style.
Yes. So that's what I have been reading. I mean, I have been reading so much manga this past month. So much manga. I'm actually getting quite burnt out on reading so much manga. So I need to get my vlog edited where I go over everything that I read. But I mean, spoiler alert, I had to hold the challenge of reading 30 things in April because I was like, I can't do it.
Okay, is the Nagabe short story collection you're talking about Love on the Other Side? I see it came out from 7 Seas in English in July of last year. This is the one that I had bookmarked.
Let's see. It's actually not that one. That's another collection that they've done, or that's a different cover. Let's see. Because the one that I know is the wise beasts of the wizarding wisdoms.
Oh, that's the one that I looked at before.
Yeah.
Aha. Yeah.
So I'm just quietly adding these both to my want to read.
I have to decide if I'm going to buy everything or try to get it from the library.
I mean, I always read them first from the library, except with like Totsukuni no Shoujo, The Girl from the Other Side. That's like after I read the first few from the library, I just bought everything. Which reminds me,
buy all the manga. It's expensive.
the 10th volume cover has been announced and it looks so good and dark.
10th or 11th?
10th.
I have that one.
I think it's either gonna be 10 or 11 volumes.
It must be 11 because 10 isn't a conclusion. It's really just the teacher's backstory. That's it.
Yeah, I still haven't read past volume 7. I have volume 8 next.
I read 10 recently. It's actually my wrap up. It's going live today. So I have thoughts. I'm like, I kind of want the series to be a little bit longer because I just don't see how it's going to wrap up with only one more volume.
Yeah, I'm not sure how. Like, I just know that this is a shorter series. I'm always personally more for shorter works. Obviously, less money, and also like I've been burned so many times by series that did not know when to end, because
that is the reason why I stopped reading manga for a really long time. I read a lot of it when I was 15, 16, 17, and then I was really invested in, I forget what it was called, the Wallflower or something like that. Let's just say I was committed to buying them. I think I bought like 13 volumes and they were just so freaking repetitive. I started getting angry. I stopped buying manga at that point.
I think I have currently like 10 volumes of Kimi ni Todoke by Karuho Shina. and that series stopped at 30 volumes. 30 volumes. I won't say that it wasn't good because I read the rest of them from the library then, and I'm contemplating on whether I should collect them because the series has now finished its run. But like, let's just say that some of those volumes I don't think were quite necessary. But on the other hand, I'm currently witnessing the devastatingly painful conclusion to The Promised Neverland, which has to wrap every single plot thread in the next 2 volumes that are coming out. And I'm like, this could have easily been at least 7 volumes longer.
Wow.
Because it has just rushed through every single plot arc after after the 10th volume or so. And I'm here like, I mean, and then you have stuff like Full Metal Alchemist, which is 27 volumes, and it is perfect in almost every single way. Full Metal Alchemist is...
That's like that and Sailor Moon are like the only manga that I own and the only ones that I've like actually like. No, I've read Alice 13th, I think, or Alice 19th. It was by the author of
I think it's Alice 19th.
Alice 19th. It's by Yu Watase.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't ever really into manga. I think it was just because like I latched on to like superheroes and I just never got into manga. But yeah, Full Metal Alchemist is perfect, and I need to read it because that is
yes, you do.
Like I would say across like all visual media, one of the best adaptations of a written work.
If you ever if there are people in the audience who haven't watched Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, feel free to skip the very first episode. It does absolutely nothing. It adds nothing to the story. It is just there like, in case you missed this 27-volume manga series that you could have read, here's some recapping of some things and introducing all of the characters you will be introduced to later anyway. It is an absolutely pointless episode that doesn't need to be there and completely undermines the overall mystery of the series, so just skip it. You have my permission as a person who has probably watched that series at least 6 times by now from start to finish and read the manga multiple times. Just skip the first episode of Brotherhood. It didn't need to be there. Just erase it.
They're re-releasing Full Metal Alchemist in like these beautiful hardcover editions, and I'm so tempted, even though I'm like, Diana, you already own it all. You don't need to like rebuy it, but I'm also like, but what if I do?
Are you guys saying that I should definitely go to the library and get this?
Yes.
Because it's like one of the few manga series my library actually has.
Yes. Like
if your library has Oku but doesn't have Full Metal Alchemist, something is seriously weird.
Right.
Like Full Metal Alchemist is so popular.
It is truly one of the best examples of long form storytelling I can think of. Like, the author just does so much with her 27 volumes, and like all of her characters are so great. It has like great capable ladies. It had like, yeah, it is, like I said, truly one of the best long form storytelling.
I will try this out. I've always been like really put off by the title because I don't know.
I mean, don't be put off by the title. The title gets explained because there's this thing in the world that there is this military force that uses alchemists as like basically military grade sorcerers, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And each of them gets a title that is assigned to them when they get to the military. So one of them is like a flame alchemist. One of them is like an iron works alchemist. One of them, like, they each have different titles, and the main character's title is Full Metal Alchemist.
Okay.
That's like, and it is also very like anti-war.
Yeah.
It's very much talks about like go in knowing that all of the major characters have PTSD of some
Okay.
from having been involved in basically military genocide against a religious group that's totally not at all inspired by Islam.
Yeah, it's like Arakawa did such a good job with the characters and the themes, and like there's also really good disability rep.
Yes.
It's just
mental illness rep also.
Illness. Like Raya was saying, coming to terms and like trying to atone for what you did. And
also this idea that living in a society that values your physical ability and physical prowess, and coming to terms with the fact that you don't actually have to try to attain back your lost physical mobility. That's a core theme of the story. I'm desperately trying not to spoil anything, but trust me, when you start reading this, I will be up in your mentions like, where are you? Oh my God, did you meet this character already?
So now is time to see if the library actually still has volume 1.
I mean, I swear I have just on BookTube, I have probably gotten at least 3 different people to read Fullmetal Alchemist. So, like, if that is my legacy during my tenure at BookTube, I will be very happy to have people read Swords Point and to read Fullmetal Alchemist. That is fine.
Oh.
Yeah, and if you watch the anime adaptations, the first one, like because it was airing when the manga was still being written, it like goes in some really weird places after it ever came out.
I mean, the original like 2003 adaptation does the first like I want to say 10 to 15 episodes are absolute perfection in terms of like themes and characterization and stuff, and it follows the manga pretty faithfully. But if you just want to watch a complete adaptation, I would always err on the side of watching Brotherhood over that one. And especially if you are watching a Fullmetal Alchemist adaptation for the first time and maybe don't watch anime on the regular, don't start with the 2003 adaptation.
I need to rewatch because I saw it set with the subtitles the first time I watched it and not the dub. And like I'm a little curious to watch it with the dub because I know like Laura Bailey and Travis Willingham voice characters, and I do love them from Critical Role and like other voice acting work that they do. But also the guy who
Vic Mignogna, voices Edward Elric, and I like even without going into any of the controversy, his voice just doesn't fit that character. Go away. Go away.
I'm going to be honest. He is the reason I haven't watched the dub yet, is because of that. Well, like, yeah, everything. But
I mean,
I do love the Bailey hands.
Yeah. Paraphrasing Bong Joon-ho, just get over the one inch barrier of subtitles and you will enjoy a plethora of new media.
Buddy, why you're in my yarn? Hi, you're so cute. We're lucky you're so cute. You're kind of a troublemaker.
Okay, read Becca. What is this manga you're talking about? Because all I'm imagining is Food Wars, and Food Wars is definitely not a manga that I would necessarily recommend to every single person, because it is very much like it has so much fan service, and if that doesn't work for you, then it has so much of it that you can't really get past it. if fan service is not your thing.
I really don't like fan service.
I think fan service like can have its place, but overdone, it's like I'm just like
I also don't like when characters in manga or anime like totally spaz out, like super emotional stuff. Like pretty much how Toru in Fruits Basket behaves whenever she gets like embarrassed or whatever. I just can't take it. I can't.
But that's like a cultural thing.
I know,
Because,
and
like, Japan as a culture is like very like emotionally repressed in that way that you are not really supposed to show true emotions outside of like a trusted circle, and it's like that putting on a shield is literally what it's like translates to. So that's why a lot of the time when you have like manga and anime and they go like full on ballistic, that's kind of escapism. That's an escapist like moment of like let it all out,
Let
which
it
is
go.
my favorite
Let it go.
ending song of Brotherhood. And I will not sing
the
it because
I know. I think after this, instead of building my bookshelves, I might just rewatch the Brotherhood openers and closers because
I mean they slap so much. The especially like my favorite Brotherhood opening is Golden Night Lover, Golden Time Lover, and followed by Period. So I think the third and fourth openers, or the second and fourth openers, either one, but those are like, oh.
Everyone, please read Full Metal Alchemist. It's so good.
Yes, you can't go wrong with it. Basically, anything that Hiromu Arakawa writes is like,
Yeah.
gold.
I want to put it on hold, but my library has like 9 different volumes and omnibus editions, and they have grouped all of them under the same item in the catalog. So if I put it on hold, I put like 9 different things on hold. Why?
Yeah, that one I would. And this is something that
I gotta go and actually see it on the shelf.
Yeah. Or I think it might be worth like calling and asking.
Also, like you need to like what way do you want to consume it? Like, do you want to consume it in single volumes, or do you want to consume it in the hardcover editions, which are like a bit of a larger format? I wouldn't actually go with the hardcovers because the hardcovers have completely axed the comedic funny bits that are at the end of each volume, and instead they have decided to sell it as a separate volume. And I'm like, no, those were the best.
Am I the weird person who doesn't care for the little comedic stuff at the end of volumes? I just don't get it most of the time.
They are perfect.
These are so fun. So the author
Okay.
little anthropomorphic cow, and it's like the cutest thing. And one of them is her complaining to her editor about this is like very on brand for me to love, complaining about Padme and Anakin from the prequels, and it's just so funny.
It's so much fun. I just think that the humor in Full Metal Alchemist in general is like basically because the story does get a little dark. The author uses those little dark. The story gets dark. The author uses those end of the volume comedic strips to kind of flex out her comedic muscles that would be so out of place in the actual story.
Mm-hmm.
So she just has these little gag strips at the end, and they're so funny. Yeah, so this was like 30 minutes about Full Metal Alchemist. Sorry about that. Basically just inundating Rachel with, read it, watch it, oh my god. And yeah, like basically the last 5 of my stitches are all crooked because I was so excited.
I'm hoping I haven't skipped a row in my charts accidentally.
But yeah, Rachel, we need to watch Shadow and Bone together.
So I know you guys have mentioned Farscape as being like somewhat disappointing. I've been watching, slowly making my way through Star Trek: The Next Generation, and like I knew going in the first 2 seasons were going to be rough, but boy, howdy, are they rough.
Yeah, I mean, me and Brie, we tried to warn you.
I know.
I mean,
I'm like,
it gets better, but the first couple seasons are like, ooh,
well, and the thing is,
decisions.
it's like I can see the flashes because like I've seen like a scattered episodes of TNG, but I was more of a DS9 and Voyager kid. And so like I can see flashes of what people really like about TNG, but it's still just like buried in the mystical pregnancy plot that's always terrible no matter which way you cut it.
Yeah. I mean, I will say that the mystical pregnancy plots were par for the 90s. Like all the 90s SFF, in some way or another, they introduce a mystical pregnancy to someone.
Not just in the 90s. Warehouse 13 did it too. And I'm still bitter because it was dumb. And Warehouse 13 like did a pretty steep decline in quality when they decided to throw all characterization out the window and hook up Pete and Micah when H.G. Wells was right there. But I'm not bitter.
I'm just generally like pregnancy subplots are like not my fave. I'm gonna be honest, not my fave. Unless it's a Martha Wells Roxora book, then I'm all for the pregnancy subplot.
She can make it interesting.
Because lizard babies.
Like, I'm okay with pregnancy, like especially if it's something that like they build in because the actor is pregnant. But for me, I just really hate the mystical pregnancy trope.
Oh, like, mystical pregnancy is bad, but my favorite we have to write a pregnancy into a storyline thing is from Deep Space Nine when Kira is pregnant and the scene where she looks at Bashir and she's like, "This is all your fault."
Yeah, because the actors are dating at the time, so it really was.
Yeah.
I love that.
That is
so fantastic.
For me,
I did not know that from behind the scenes that they were dating.
Yes.
Yeah. Like for me, I was okay with how they handled the Kira pregnancy plot just because I thought it like made sense. Like I didn't like the fact that like she and Miles were like, oh my God, we're attracted to each other. It's like, no, that is not needed. Like, come on. But that was fine. Or how they just with Voyager, when Roxanne Dawson got pregnant, they mostly did like the hide behind like wearing loose things, except for the holodeck episodes where her character was pregnant.
I mean, and then you have the epitome of how not to write pregnant characters, the Cordelia Chase.
Yeah, we're not touching that.
Yeah, I just feel like you can't talk about a mystical pregnancy without mentioning how fucked up that was.
Yeah. Hey, you were sitting right on my knitting.
Where are all my cats? I have 3. I should have access to at least 1 on any given moment.
Did Vold steal them all?
I mean, Tesla has been sleeping in Vold's like this huge office chair. Like it has like a very high back and he's just sprawled on it all day long.
You are so cute. You are so lucky. You're so cute. He's like, yes, I know. I am very cute.
I tried bringing him over before the stream started so I could show him off, and he immediately like fled and was like, no, you do not have adequately cushioned seating for my taste.
Oh crap, I think I messed my thing up.
No.
Oh no, I didn't.
Okay, good.
I am just about ready to turn this color over. What are you? Oh, just a stray little. Okay. Nothing important then.
Hi. Why are you like this? Like he's literally just sitting on my knitting and like is refusing.
He wants attention.
I'm giving him attention.
Not enough. You're dividing your attention.
No, I'm not, because
between,
he's on my
between
knitting.
knitting. Yes, but that's why he has to be on your knitting, because otherwise you would be knitting. It makes perfect sense.
You are such a little brat. There we go. Okay, let me get my knitting, buddy.
Whew.
Oh, Lucky, he's so cute.
Do you want to go over the Ignite Awards, which were announced after the Hugo Award nominations?
Yeah, I don't want to like go through category by category, but I will say just like
Yeah, just shortly.
Like it is a very, very good shortlist, and I'm very excited for Jessie from Bow Ties and Books to be nominated. I think that's great. I also love that Stitch from Stitch's Media Mix was nominated as well, because I really enjoy their writing, and they have like some really great commentary about fandom and race in fandom. And I had been hoping that they would get nominated for a Hugo, but I'm really excited that the nominating committee for the Ignite Awards recognized them.
I'm still not entirely sure how the nomination for Ignite works. Like, is it like by committee, or is
They
there
have a
like
nominating committee that evaluates the works and puts together the shortlist.
okay?
And then
It's a popular vote after that point, though, right?
Yeah.
I will say it is very nice that, you know, the YA category has actual YA books in it.
I think I might have to read Legendborn now, because isn't it on the Lodestar shortlist as well?
Yeah.
I keep seeing it everywhere, and I'm like, it's, you know, I don't pick up that much YA anymore, but I just keep hearing people raving about it.
Yeah, and also was Raybearer on the
Raybearer. I'm pulling up A Song Below Water by Bethany C. Morrow. Sorry, I'm trying to pull up. That is a fic that I plan on reading. That is Bucky Barnes shows up to the cookout with "Sorry I Tried to Kill You" cake. Yeah. Speaking of that, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, like there were some things I really love, but it was kind of a hot mess.
I mean, I haven't seen any episode of it, but I just thought that it was like, it wasn't even hilarious. It was sad, where I'm trying not to spoil. How do I talk about this without spoiling it? Apparently, in the last episode, there was a very moment of pandering and virtue signaling, and kind of like a and now we have one racism, which people were talking about on Twitter.
I didn't see it as like we've won racism, but I thought it was very heavy-handed, and also it, of course, attempted to redeem the white man when he did nothing to earn that redemption. And I'm not talking about Bucky. I'm talking about a different character. I think Bucky has. Anyway, like I said, I liked parts of it, but overall, it felt like it was trying to do too much, but also didn't do enough. And there was one too many subplots, and there was the one with Zemo could have easily been cut out. Like that was.
Wait, Zemo is in this?
Yeah.
I don't even know who Zemo is. I just know that there's like a 1 hour loop of him dancing in a club on YouTube, and I'm like, what? Why?
Because he's a white man. But yeah, it was.
Okay.
Anyway, I hope that the Loki series is better.
I mean, I must be the only person on Earth who doesn't have the hots for Tom Hiddleston, so I'm not super excited about it.
I really like Tom Hiddleston as Loki, but I haven't really enjoyed what they've been doing with his character for a long time. And I'm like 5 years behind on movies, so that tells you something.
Yeah.
Have you seen Ragnarok?
That is the last one that I've seen, and I did not like it. I fast-forwarded through most of it.
Okay, so I have the awards for YA. It's Alatsue, Legendborn, Raybearer, A Song Below Water, and A Sky Beyond the Storm. I will say I'm a little surprised about
A couple of those I haven't heard of.
because that's the finale of the Ember and Ashes series. I haven't really heard anyone talking about that recently. Like the other four, I'm not surprised, especially Alatsue, Legendborn, and Raybearer.
Oh, Shannon says Tom Hiddleston and Only Lovers Left Alive. Yes, this is the movie I need to watch because it's Tilda Swinton as well.
I just can't even remember Tom Hiddleston from that movie because it has Tilda Swinton in it, and Tilda Swinton overshadows basically every single person she's ever interacting with on any given screen. She's just that radiant. Like, I don't remember anything about Benjamin Button. But Tilda Swinton was in it. Yeah, she was the swimmer lady.
Oh.
I've seen snippets of that movie and I don't remember Tilda Swinton being in it.
Tilda Swinton was in it.
Oh.
She's the best thing in it aside Kate Blanchett. Like seeing Kate Blanchett hook up with Brad Pitt, one of the greatest sorrows of my life.
Uh-oh. What did I do?
Why did I decide that making this color out of linen was a good idea? Because this phrase so much.
In the future, I should probably not do heavily cabled projects while trying to talk at the same time.
I mean, imagine just like looking over it and was like, yes, at this part, I remember having this beautiful conversation with my friends and seeing a kind of a skewed cable.
Yeah. Oh, Shannon, I have Constantine. I saw it many years ago, and yes, the only thing I remember about it is Tilda Swinton. She plays Gabrielle or something in it. I was like, oh my god, best casting ever.
I mean, I'm trying to think of Constantine.
Although the first thing that I ever saw Tilda Swinton in was when she was the White Witch in the Chronicles of Narnia, and like I had never seen her before, and I was a kid when that came out too, I think. And
the first movie I ever saw Tilda Swinton in was Orlando, and that just goes to show what kind of people I hung out with, because I was like, I want to say I was like 13 or something. That movie came out in like 92 or 94. And I was hanging out with my sister's friends who were all like pretentious art school students. So I watched that movie with them. Still good though. I didn't understand anything that was going on back then.
To be fair, there's not a lot of explanation in that movie.
Yeah.
You just have to go with it.
Yeah. But I mean, it also kind of laid the foundation for all of my future and current gender ideas, so I can't fault it for that.
And yes, we need to talk about Kevin. I will probably never watch that because I know what it's about, and yeah, heavy stuff.
Yeah, that movie is a lot. Also, don't watch it on an airplane, ever. That is not an airplane movie.
Okay, yeah, no.
Just like...
My perfect airplane movie is honestly Ocean's 8. I like the last like several times alone, I've watched Ocean's 8 because it's almost always on the media center. It's about 2 hours. it's like a heist with great clothing and a lot of ladies, and it's just like perfect for when I just want to watch something that I've already seen before.
Yeah.
Oh no, Shannon, no.
Oh
No. Oh man. I mean, I remember we were flying a transatlantic flight to Las Vegas, and I watched the last two Hobbit movies. It was a rough time. I was like, get me out of this plane after like the
ones with
freaking barrel
How I Met
scene.
Your Mother, Jason Segel.
Hmm?
The ones with Jason Segel. You said Muppets?
Hobbit.
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 Oh, Hobbit. I completely misheard that.
I feel like Steven Seagal movie would have been
No, Jason
more
Segel
into-
from How I Met Your Mother, because he did the latest two Muppet movies. That's why I was like,
all these people with the same names.
anyway. Oh god, I couldn't even. I like watched the first Hobbit movie in the theater, and I was like, no thanks, and I never watched the other two.
Oy, oy, oy. My favorite Muppet movie is Muppet Treasure Island.
That's a good one. I really love. Oh god, I am completely blanking on the name, but the one where we meet Gonzo's family.
Have I seen that one? I don't know.
It came
To be
out.
fair,
Oh god, it came out in like the late '90s or early 2000s, I want to say. But yeah, it's Gonzo finding out where he comes from and his family, and it's like it's very sweet. Oh, there's a kitty.
hello.
Oh god, I am completely blanking on the name, and it's gonna bug me.
Oh my god, yes, Ron. The Hobbit movies.
Oh, Shannon, that's the Great
Yes.
Muppet. The one with the
Yeah.
diamond face. That is the Great Muppet Caper, and that one is also excellent.
I haven't seen that. To be honest, Muppets never really made it big in Finland. I watched the Muppet Christmas Carol, but I still think that Scrooge McDuck's Christmas Carol is the ultimate Christmas Carol experience.
See, I grew up with Sesame Street and, like, by extension, the Muppets.
What?
Oh,
Okay,
I heard a growl.
we have a
Was that Heather?
crisis. We have a crisis.
Uh-oh.
We have a Zoomy boy that is bothering. Yes, you are bothering your grandma. Just and you.
Oh, I could hear that.
Okay. Go to bed. Go to bed. Have some treats.
That is one grumpy lady.
Yeah, she is Yup.
Is she like, get off my lawn, you little punk?
Yes, she is. She exudes exactly that kind of energy, like Clint Wood energy, but less racist. So,
I will say-
to be honest, if a cat was racist, I would be very, very worried.
I think one of the worst movies I ever had the misfortune to see on an airplane was Scrooged with Bill Murray, just because it was one of those airplanes where it was like before you had like the individual screens where you got to choose. And so it was like what everyone was watching.
Oh
and
yeah, that.
like, I understand it's close to Christmas, but are we really doing it?
I just found it incredibly difficult to like watch airplane movies when there was just that one teeny tiny screen somewhere, and then you had the earphones and you were like trying to follow along.
Yeah. I do like the current trend of like being able to watch it on like your computer or your phone or something, which like I don't know, I just like it a little bit more. I mean, granted, I haven't flown in like a year and a half, so
Okay. What film would you guys want to see a Muppet version of? I
Okay.
personally would very much enjoy a Muppet Shakespeare. Any type of Muppet Shakespeare.
Okay, so I have two. So the first is like kind of serious, and like I think this is something the Muppets would actually do. Is I would love to see a Muppets Pride and Prejudice with only Mr. Darcy as the human. And it's like with Muppet Christmas Carol with Michael Caine acting like they're, humans and he's like not in a Muppet movie. So there's that. And then like the non-serious one, Muppets Fast and Furious. Again, with Vin Diesel as the old human. That is what I want. I want
Muppets Fast and Furious. Would the cars be puppets too?
I don't know. I don't know how it would work, but it would honestly be a masterpiece.
I mean, have you seen that there is a new Fast and the Furious coming?
Oh yeah. I think I'll be full, like I think my vaccine will be like in place. So like if that's the case and the movie theater in town is open, I am totally seeing that on the big screen because that is the exact type of energy I want in a movie in the summer.
Uh,
I'm glad to see that others like the idea of Muppet Fast and Furious.
I mean, if I'm thinking like because I really like the like Lego Star Wars and Lego Lord of the Rings and stuff, I would be really into like a Muppet Star Wars. If you would cast the Muppets as like Star Wars characters, who would be Anakin?
Oh God. I don't know if any Muppet has like the correct energy for it.
I would cast Elmo as Anakin.
Oh God. But then Elmo would have to go to the dark side, and I don't want to see that.
Have you seen the Tickle Me Elmo parody where it's Tickle Me Emo? And it's like it's like a little like video parody. I think it was a Saturday Night Live skit. So maybe I just feel like Elmo has range and Elmo has hidden depths.
Elmo, like in canon, is like 3 though, so I don't know. I don't know if Star Wars would necessarily work for Muppets, but because I think for Muppets, like there's like 2 different types of energies. You either have like the classics energy or you have like a very zany energy. And so that's why I was thinking that like Fast and the Furious would work because Fast and the Furious has that kind of like zany.
Oh my God! Is Yoda voiced?
What?
I thought Miss Piggy was voiced by a woman.
Nope.
Okay.
What?
Frank Oz has the range.
Wow. Okay. Well. This is the same energy when I found out that Orochimaru from Naruto was voiced by a woman as well. And then I was like, wait, what? Oh, so now you're not growling and you want to play? What is this?
Or do you have any suggestions for a Muppet movie adaptation?
I don't know the Muppets well enough. I literally haven't seen anything with the Muppets in 20 years. I will get around to watching A Christmas Carol at some point, though.
Like, I don't know if you can hear this, but she's now, like, doing this little trilling sound, like, oh, like, it's so weird.
At the other cats, or just...
Just by herself. Mosfet, you need to go away because Hedda gets angry if you are in the same room as her right now. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye. I mean, this just goes to show that no day is ever wasted and you learn something new every day. I did not know that Yoda was voiced by the same actor that does Miss Piggy. I am now incredibly mind blown. Like, what else have you been hiding from me? Um, speaking of
I don't
like,
know how we can top that. I think we might need to wrap up.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean that was great. Do we want to talk about any like I wanted to ask you about something that has been going on with Ravelry. Have you noticed that, like, at least Lola from Third World Yarns and stuff just recently made a statement that they're not going to use Ravelry anymore, that there's been some, like, hiccups with, like, Ravelry and accessibility or something?
Oh yeah, the Ravelry accessibility stuff has been going on since last year. They changed the design and the look of the site, and it's been causing a lot of problems for people. And they handled it very poorly when they started getting complaints about it. And the reason why it's come up again is because they let people keep using Ravelry Classic mode, but they're getting rid of Classic mode, so people no longer have an alternative for viewing the site without having problems. So there was a kind of like boycott Ravelry thing for a week at the beginning of April, I think. And since then, a lot of designers and things have been talking about whether they're going to keep using it or if they're going to switch to something else. So
Yeah, I mean, I'm always someone who, like, you know, working and studying in IT and stuff, like, it's always hard when you introduce a new system. Oh my God. My mind tracked completely to others. You all should do a Fast and Furious podcast.
That would be.
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to doing a Fast and Furious podcast because I haven't even seen all of them. I could just like watch all of them and be like the lay person who doesn't know anything about the franchise.
This is so weird, but like it's very random, the movies that I've seen and I that I haven't seen. I've actually seen almost every single Fast and the Furious movie, including a bunch of them that I actually saw in the theater.
What? Rachel, you are more cultured in the topic of Fast and Furious than I.
I couldn't necessarily tell you the plots of any of these things. It's been years, but yes.
The plot is Cars. The plot is Cars.
Yes.
And high-speed chases. And
Cars and family.
And
yes.
I remember seeing Tokyo Drift in the theaters with my brother, and we were both like, what the hell is this? Who is this other character? Why does he have this accent? And our favorite person dies.
I mean, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's Cars. It's fast-paced action. It's
and at some point, The Rock shows up.
Yes. As you do. Did Jason Statham also show up at one point?
Yeah, and there's also
like him
series with him, or a movie with him and The Rock.
Yeah, me neither. There's like this weird thing where people keep trying to make Jason Statham happen to me, and I'm like, stop. It's not gonna happen.
I get some weird vibe from him, and I don't like the kind of movies that he's known for, so whatever.
But speaking of other like movie franchises, I've just been watching clips from John Wick 1 and 2 for like on loop, like my favorite scenes from those movies, like the phone call Viggo makes for Aurelio and stuff. I heard you hit my son. Just like I just like me and my partner were going to bed, like we were going to sleep, and then I just started quoting that phone call, and he just started quoting it back for me, and we just went over the whole scene together, and then we're like, good night. I still can't watch the scene with the dog though. I can't. It's too much.
Don't spoil anything for me because I still haven't seen those movies and I kind of want to because Keanu Reeves.
They are fantastic movies, and also after you watch them, I would suggest reading the article on Tor.com about why John Wick movies are actually portal fantasies.
Okay.
Because it is a very good article and it goes into the whole mythology of the whole series. Not saying it's canon, but it was a very interesting thought exercise. Okay, do we want to talk about...
Again, and watch action movies?
I mean, action movies are truly the best thing to watch in the theaters. Because, like, those kind, like I don't necessarily want to watch dramas in the movie theater with other people, but action movies where everyone is so invested in the thing.
Action movies and heist movies. That's why I love the Ocean's 11 movies so much.
Yeah.
I will say for like watching stuff in theaters, like I watched one of the local like indie theaters was showing Parasite, and I saw it there, and it was like very, very small. I think they only sat like 30 to 40 people, and it was only like half full. And like that for me was a good type of viewing experience for something like Parasite, where like I had people, because I went with friends, I had people to talk to afterwards, but it also wasn't like jammed full of people.
Okay, I have to talk about probably the most uncomfortable movie watching experience of my life, which was me and my friend went to watch The Handmaiden movie at the movie theater. And I was not expecting it to be as graphic as it was and to have such explicit scenes as it did. But let me tell you, watching it with a bunch of old-ass Finnish conservative elderly ladies packed into the same theater as you is very interesting, because every time something happened, there would be like this commotion of like, and that was the movie experience. It was like a constant, like this ruffled feathers. You could just hear the pearls being clutched. Me and my friend were like, well, this is awkward. Like, it's a good movie, but like not necessarily what I would
I think I can one up you a little bit. So it was when I was in high school, and I was having friends over for like kind of a winter holiday get together, and we decided we wanted to watch Love Actually. And I swear to God, my moms were mostly staying in the room, but every single time we got to the scene with the sex scene stand-ins, they'd walk into the room.
I mean,
so awkward.
I mean, I'm like, my mom is the sort of person who every time there is a kissing scene or hugs or anything that can even like anything that can be construed even lightly going towards an erotic direction, if she is able to, she switches the channel, right? Like she hops and is like, not this, and switches the channel every single time, or fast forwards. So I don't think I ever saw a kiss scene before the age of 14, when I was like allowed to visit friends by myself and watch movies with them by myself.
I watched Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, or is it the other way around? Whatever, you know that one. When I was like 13 or 14, my whole family watched it. My parents had watched it before, and they're like, you have to see this movie, except there's like a seduction scene in the middle.
Yeah.
And my mom wouldn't let us watch it. She held up like a cardboard box in front of the television so that we couldn't see what was happening, but we could
that's
hear
so
it.
tame, though. It's like CCP approved. So and I'm pretty sure that CCP's guidelines for like proper conduct and sexual content are much stricter than your mom's. Like,
probably. In retrospect, I think that my parents were a lot more awkward feeling about it than my brother and I would have been watching it, but I will never forget that.
I mean, yeah.
All right, so we're getting close to 12:30, so should we wrap up?
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to goad our discussion to talking about like new releases and stuff that we would want to talk about, but but then the Muppet question came up, and I was my plans were derailed.
The thing I am most looking forward to that's going to come out in like 2 days, I think, is Master of Jin by P.H. L.A. Clark.
Oh,
I have it
yes.
pre-ordered. I cannot wait until I get the shipping notice. It's all I want right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't pre-ordered anything because my pre-orders never come in on time, but I feel like I should probably use the other discount code that I just recently got to. Like, why isn't this?
I am looking forward, and I should know because I just submitted some pre-orders. It's coming in at the end of May, but Aetherbound by E.K. Johnston. I really like Johnston's writing, and this is like the Newfoundland fisheries collapse meets Jupiter ascending meets Found Family.
Nice.
It's good.
In space. So like I'm really looking forward to. And I'm also looking forward to Zencho's new novel. I have that pre-ordered.
Oh yeah, the
Blackwater Sister.
right.
Oh, I need to request that from my library.
That one just I love Zencho's writing so much. And she's just become like one of those auto-buy authors for me.
Yeah, I mean, I have read currently only one thing by her, which is Sorcerer Through the Crown, but that one I really enjoyed it.
I really love True Queen as well.
I
Wait.
still need to read that.
I will say it does, and this is just like me being like, I want all my books to match. I deeply dislike the fact that the cover for True Queen does not match Sorcerer to the Crown, and I'm like,
It matches the other one.
I'm like kind of tempted to like buy the UK, like even though I already own them, it's like, but I could also buy
the
the UK
really
version,
beautiful
they
UK
match.
edition. Yeah.
Maya gave me the paperback of True Queen because she was like, well, it was okay, but I wasn't like the biggest fan, and I was like, okay, well, I will take it from you.
I'm trying to think, what other books am I looking forward to? Oh, I have a book that came in from the library. So that's exciting.
Okay, my little color is almost done. I just need to press it and then press it open like this. And then MOSFET will have a little necktie thing.
I can't wait to see that.
I hope that it will fit, because it would sure be a disaster if it wouldn't. I'm just like I don't know if there's any new books coming out in May that I really want. Oh. Did I see She Who Became the Sun? Yes, that's one I actually really want to read.
Yeah, that's in June. I've asked my library to get that because I'm really looking forward to it.
I am really excited about Jasmine Throne by Tasha Suri. I want it. Any queer boy sci-fi book recs? Rachel or Di, do you know of any? Because I have to say that the only like super queer sci-fi that I've read is like Ancillary Justice by Anne Leckie, and I'm not sure if I would say that it has queer boys.
Yeah.
I think Alex London has a queer sci-fi.
I actually haven't read much that falls into that specific niche, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel like I have like a lot of like space lesbians in my repertoire, but not like not a lot of space gays or
I haven't
space
read it yet, but Winter's Orbit might fit that.
Yeah, I'm trying
Yeah, I think I haven't read that either. I'm also thinking that was it the Disasters? Because that one at least has like.
Is that by T? Oh yeah, The Disasters. I know which one that is. It's
Yeah.
I actually have a copy because I'm going through. It's this one by M.K. England.
Yeah, that one. Should have like at least buy rep.
Yeah. I'm complete because I haven't read a lot of sci-fi recently.
Yeah, I feel like it has to do with like a lot of like authors who write all the queer stuff in like lately in sci-fi have been either like women or non-binary.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the men who write sci-fi tend to be like the old guard, you know, like your Dan Simmonses and stuff.
Yeah. God, I'm sorry. I'm like I'm raking my brain trying to think of any because
Like clearly this is a topic for a video that should be done like a recommendation, like you need to look into this and be like, ha! Because they're like, never say that there aren't any, because there are.
Yeah, I wouldn't say there aren't any. It's just I don't know if I've necessarily read them. And I don't know if I would necessarily be able to recommend.
Yeah, I mean, technically speaking, the Terra Ignota series by Ada Palmer is science fiction, and there are a lot of queer characters in there, including men. So
I guess also say that in like Arkady Martin's like Memory Called Empire and Desolation Called Peace, there are like queer characters who, like, it seems like bisexuality is the norm. Mm-hmm. Like there is like male relationships mentioned in those books at least, but I'm not sure they're at the forefront. Once again, it's more like the suffix. But I could name you a bunch of stuff that has male romances in fantasy.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. Just pick up a KJ Charles novel, pretty much.
Yeah. But it's like clearly there is a void that needs fulfilling.
Well, and I would also say for like male fantasy, like TJ Klune's stuff fits that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and maybe there might be more in YA because
I'm also thinking like stuff like Adam Silvera and Sean David Hutchinson, who do like more like I'm thinking like I think like in YA sort of thing, like I'm thinking stuff like We Are the Ants and stuff like that, which is more like male queer. Mm-hmm. With a speculative element. Also, I'm thinking Phil Stamper. It wasn't sci-fi, but it's like the novel Gravity of Us, where it's like two boys whose parents are in the space program. So it's not sci-fi, but it's like space adjacent. But those are all that I've currently got. I mean, I'm always really interested to like be like, what's the word? Like informed about a blind spot that I have, and then I can go read more stuff where I can be like, well, now I know.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, I could also say that, like, I think manga might have you covered. I'm thinking that there might be some interesting, like, I'm thinking like I should probably read up on it, but I'm thinking like, did Knights of Sidonia have some queer elements as well in it? Or am I misremembering? I need to read up on that. Anyway, Knights of Sidonia as a whole is a good manga, whether or not you're into queer things. So, But yeah, we are at the 1 hour and 1.5 hour mark. We decided today that since it was just the three of us, that we would do a bit of a shorter live stream. So I think we are about ready to wrap it up. So will you all tell everyone what's coming up on your channels? And maybe some like projects you're excited about or something. Anything goes.
I can go first. I will finally be posting my March wrap up right at the end of April because I didn't feel like editing, and then I tried to edit, and then the media didn't import properly, so I had to re-edit it. But yeah, that should go up tomorrow. I just need to make the thumbnail. And then in terms of projects, I need to record the intro video, and I'm planning on doing like a vlog series, like a reading vlog series where I read the Hugo nominees that I haven't read yet because there are a lot.
Nice. Nice.
And just be forewarned, there probably will be one for Deadly Education that will be a lot of me ranting about the fact that it should not be on the ballot on the Lodestar. Because I am still mad about
that. It really shouldn't be. I'm still miffed.
I am still mad about that. I'm very interested to see what the long list is going to be. And right now, my intention is kind of to rank it below No Award just because, like I said,
I'm one where I really want to see the voting breakdown in that category with that specific book. Because Hugo voters have a history of responding to that sort of thing in their own way.
Yeah. Rachel, will you go next?
I don't know if I have anything particularly set in stone that's upcoming. I'm actually getting ready to sit down and like plan my videos for the next month, so I have no idea what I'm doing next. Maybe I will end up doing a review of Expiration Date by Tim Powers because I might actually have stuff to say about that one, but we'll see.
Okay.
Lying by the seat of my pants like usual.
That's
kind of how I do it.
Yeah. I do need to like really like pick up some speed on reading more Otherwise Award winners because I really want to get some of those and do another wrap up for that particular project of mine. So
I mean, flying by the seat of your pants is very appreciated. I do it all the time. you should see my bullet journals for like my video plans and what actually got made. It's a thing. Okay, so on my channel, I should I have learned not to promise anything anymore, but I should have my manga April reading vlog going up next week. I just posted a review of Tokyo Tarareba Girls today, the whole series, and I will hopefully be able to do like a couple more manga reviews in the upcoming weeks of the stuff that I have been reading, but I won't be talking about all of my manga reading in a wrap-up because I read a lot, so please watch my vlog when it goes up. And otherwise, my next TBR game should be up at the switcheroo of the months, so look forward to that as well.
Fun stuff.
And whose channel are we on? Does a rotation start from the beginning?
Yeah, I think we're on Bree's channel next time.
Bree's channel?
Mm-hmm.
Not your channel?
No, I was last month.
Okay, so we should be on Bree's channel next time, but we will let you know when we know. Okay, yep. Bye-bye.
Bye.